A lot of structural stuff I need to do. If you remember maybe some other pictures, if not, I will put it, I don't know, I'll probably put a picture right in here of what needs to be done. There needs to be a little bit of frame straightening on it to get everything to fit in right. So if we look at that radiator, you can see where it's sitting, right? It's definitely kicked up, and that's because the core support's mangled. You know, what I really need to do is cut it out and put a new one in on the lower part of the core support. And these frame horns, if you ever, if you see those, I might put that right over here, what they look like. It just needs frame straightening. Okay, so as not to be accused of just putting out clickbait, this is what I use the hammer and the Sawzall on. So if you've seen some of these other videos or pictures of this car, it was in decent condition overall, but the core support was one of those just mangled areas. So we're going to get down in here. It was so mangled, if you saw before, see all the radiator is all nice and level now? This thing was sticking up that high and the hood wouldn't shut. So this is a temporary thing because this lower core support, radiator support, needs replaced. We're going to get in here and look at it. So we can see the little bends and crinkles in here. There's a shadow in the way. Anyways, I made a little cut right there and did just a series of little cuts. That way I could take the hammer and beat it back into place so the radiator will fit. We can see right here, it's just, this is mangled. So what I'm probably going to do is come back and when I get ready, just cut this whole piece out on both sides right in here. And then that'll leave this section here. And I'll get a new one, well, new to this car one. And I'll cut it right at the frame. And then pine cut this piece. And then I can slide that whole piece up in here. And I'll replace all this ugliness down through here. So you can see all the little cuts I've done. That gives room for it to bend back in place because the metal's distorted, right? I'm not going to go too crazy on it. So I had to do that over on this side here too. Right in there I did my other cut because this whole piece was just, it was flared out, right? See the cut right there? Oh no, yeah, I did two. I had to do two, that way it had a, because the blade's taking out material, right? So I did two cuts there and there so that this could bend back in that way and then lower everything down. So it'll work to drive around, do test drives and stuff like that until I get the other piece on there. I also don't have a bumper support back in there. And I need to get it in the frame shop. But as you can see, it's a really good base to work off of, other than the 7-layer burrito paint job that's on it. But that's what sandpaper's for. Okay, so I've been doing interior work on Phoenix. And I got to a little bit of a stopping point, waiting on parts to come in. So I'm going to get back to doing body work. And I got the fiberglass filler. Kitty hair is what I was always taught to call it. About to mix some up and put it on the roof. If you remember the last time I did the body work on this and did the video on it, I did about half the roof. And so now I'm going to start on the other half of the roof. One quarter at a time, basically. Something manageable. So I'm going to get this mixed up and do a patch about that big, maybe about a foot by foot square on it. Something like that, that's manageable. Get that on there and start blocking it out. Okay, I'm to the point now to where I have it built up where I want it. And what I've done is I just sprayed some paint on there, some fast dry paint, so that it gives me a guide coat. So yeah, it's still rough, but like I said, I need to have something to guide coat against because I kept hitting the metal here. But this is just part of blocking it down. Looks like I have a pretty good patch here that I had to do over that area to float it out. So it's, once I get back on this, that's what I'll do. I'll just come through and block it, and that guide coat will tell me where I'm hitting, where I'm not hitting, and go from there.